Good afternoon. I am Dr. Jane Ponterio, and I am the Senior Associate Dean for Student Affairs, as well as an alumna of New York Medical College School of Medicine. It is my honor and pleasure to serve as the Master of Ceremony for the 24th Annual White Coat Ceremony of the New York Medical College School of Medicine in this certainly unprecedented and difficult time for all of us. And although there are so many evolving new normals and uncertainties due to the pandemic and other troubling national events, the excellence and essence of our core medical education program and student experience at New York Medical College remain intact. On behalf of the board, Dr. Edward Halperin, Chancellor and CEO of New York Medical College, Dr. Jerry Nadler, Dean of the School of Medicine, all of the administration, deans, department chairs, alumni association, staff, and faculty, I want to welcome you, all of you, family, partners, and friends, to the class of 2024 White Coat Ceremony.
Avinu Shabbat our Heavenly Father, bless all those who have assembled here today to rejoice in this White Coat Ceremony of New York Medical College, class of 2024. Almighty God, Rafei Chol Basar Umafli La'asos, you are the healer of all flesh, wondrous in your acts. You have instructed and empowered humanity to cure the ill and provide comfort and aid to all of your children. We, and all who are involved in this venerated citadel of medical education here in Valhalla, are your agents in your divine work of healing. May your abundant blessings always be showered on those who enter the halls of this institution. May you give strength, courage, and fortitude to the men and women who are beginning their professional training. Grant them the wisdom and the strength to heal the sick, to strengthen the weak, and to uplift those in despair. These are extraordinary times. There is great uncertainty as darkness has descended upon our world. We lift our voices to you, Almighty God, to bestow upon us your divine light to dispel that darkness, to provide hope and reassurance as we look to the future, to restore health and prosperity to your creations, and to grant us wisdom and compassion so that we may make a difference to all of humanity. Now more than ever, as we gather from afar as an academic community and as an extended Turo family, we ask you to bless this celebration and to smile upon the achievements and the great potential of these men and women who have worked so diligently, who have accomplished so much, and who have so much more to offer. And dear God, we ask that you shower your blessings upon the families of these students, parents, spouses, children, and other dear ones who have been there for support and encouragement and have sacrificed so much so that these medical students can persevere and succeed. It was our fervent wish that we could stand together in the same room to celebrate this milestone in your training. Although circumstances have dictated that we cannot yet be together physically, each of us remain united by our common goals to make this world a better place, to utilize the training we receive at New York Medical College, the scholarship and the ethical instruction in the service of humankind. We ask for your continued divine guidance so that we together can achieve our great potential. Amen.
Good day. My name is Kenneth Theobalds, and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees of New York Medical College. And today it is my distinct pleasure to speak with you first-year students. Who are the Board of Trustees? Well, the Board of Trustees support the institution, the faculty, the administration, and consider us your distant support line. We tend to be distant figures from the student body, but know that we're here to support you as you seek a quality medical education. I am Brooklyn born and bred, attended a small upstate university in Ithaca, New York, Cornell University, and have lived here in Westchester for the past 20 or so years. Dr. Halpin reached out to me to recruit me to serve on the Board of Trustees. I was familiar with the unique history of the medical college and providing opportunity to minority medical students and also that a quality medical education and providing opportunity is a passion of mine. And so I was willing to serve on the board and give of my time to support this institution. Let me state at the outset that the leadership of the medical college, from the chancellor to the president, to the faculty, the staff, to the board, are committed to providing you with the finest medical education and training possible, all the more so in these extraordinary times. And please know, as I stated, you're attending a medical college with a great history, and our learned chancellor can fill you in, of providing equal opportunity to African Americans and women and other minorities, and of pushing medical science forward to new frontiers of discovery. Know that we are so proud to have you here with us, joining our community in pursuit of knowledge and excellence. The chancellor asked that I provide a few words of inspiration, and given where we are today, I looked to my childhood idol, John F. Kennedy, in his inaugural address, which highlighted a generational change and a new mantle in leadership. And although in many instances, President Kennedy in his remarks was referring to the Soviet Union as a major Cold War rival, his words are surprisingly timely and speak to us all in America today, as we are so sharply divided. Kennedy said in part, "So let us begin anew, remembering on both sides that civility is not a sign of weakness, and that sincerity is always subject to proof. Let both sides explore the wonders of science, explore the stars, conquer the deserts, eradicate disease, tap the ocean depths, and encourage the arts." Now the trumpet sounds again, not as a call to arms, but to bear the burden of a long twilight struggle, a struggle against the common enemies of man: tyranny, poverty, disease, and war itself. So as you embark upon this momentous journey, know that we will do all we can to support you, to see you succeed, and that now, more than ever, we need you to lead and help conquer old foes. Thank you so much for your time, and do well.
My dear young doctors, both before and during the pandemic, I have been taking care of a young physician with metastatic salivary gland cancer. This is a rare malignancy. It has a tendency to track along nerve routes, and it can disseminate many years after the initial diagnosis. In this patient's case, the tumor relapsed many years after resection and postoperative irradiation of the primary tumor. The metastases were initially in the lung, and now they are in the lung, the liver, and the bones. Your greatest teachers will be your patients, and this patient has reinforced for me two lessons, which I'd like to share with you on the occasion of you donning the white coat. First, the patient who, as I said, is a physician, told me of going to a very famous medical center in the Midwestern United States, where he underwent a thoracotomy and received recommendations for postoperative radiotherapy to the lung metastasis. The patient was perplexed as to why the resident and the attending physician were so focused on only one of the two pulmonary metastases. After he listened to the attending physician discuss for close to an hour the risks and benefits of central chest radiotherapy, the patient then asked, "Well, what about the other tumor in my right upper lobe that the surgeon cut through and left a positive margin? What do you want to do about that?" The patient observed that both the resident and the attending physician became anxious and flushed left the room and returned full of apologies and recriminations about who had miscommunicated with whom, it seemed clear that unequivocal, clear communication had not taken place between the physicians involved in the patient's case, and that someone had copied and pasted information in the electronic medical record, which had been insufficient to convey the necessary information. And what was finally clear was that in the whole interaction, no one had actually taken a history directly from the patient's mouth, that all the information had been derived from the electronic medical record. And thus, the patient can't come perilously close to having half of his tumors missed. The patient fired his doctors and sought medical care elsewhere. What is the lesson for you in this little vignette as you don your white coat? First, I don't care how fancy the electronic medical record is or how fancy it will become. Take a history directly from your patients. Talk to them. Learn the habit of saying to your patients, I know it's high on my list of things to talk with you about today, but let's not start there. Please tell me what's high on your list of what you want to talk about. The classic example of this in oncology is the oncologist who starts talking to patients about 5-year survival rates, when in fact the main thing on the patient's mind is whether 2 months from now they'll be able to go to their grandchild's high school graduation or their granddaughter's wedding. Don't superimpose your value of time on the patient's value of time. Talk to your patients directly, listen to them talk, take a history directly from them. Don't let computer electronic medical records seize from you the opportunity of learning directly from your patients. If that's what they had done at that Midwestern Medical Center, they would not have missed one of the 2 patients' tumors. A few months after the above story, the patient arrived at Westchester Medical Center to see me. And after I took my medical history from him, I opened up my old-fashioned doctor's bag, and on the countertop, I lay out my stethoscope, my tuning forks, my otoscope, my ophthalmoscope, my reflex hammers, and I did what I always do, a head-to-toe physical examination. I did what I always do. I took out my little index cards and made notes of the physical findings, patient's blood pressure, their pulse, their respirations. And then I tidied up and started putting things away in my bag and had a chat with the patient about what was on his mind and what was on my mind about taking care of him. We were all done. I said goodbye and I was getting ready to leave. And the patient said something to me which forms my second lesson for you today as you don the white coat. You know, he said to me, I've received medical care at 2 of America's most famous medical centers. I've been cared for by very famous physicians. Obviously, I'm a physician myself, and I can watch and see what happens. And sir, I wasn't going to say this to you, but I'm going to say it anyway. They all studied my MRIs, and they all looked at the pathology reports, and they all gave me advice. You're the first doctor who ever did a physical exam on me. That's my second important lesson for you when you don the white coat. It is that medicine is fundamentally a social activity that takes place between 2 people. And for the physician, it involves using all of your senses to get a full understanding of the patient's illness. Remember, illness fractures people's humanity. If you're going to help repair that fractured humanity, then you have to listen and feel and experience the patient's illness. That is truly empathy. And the physical exam is an essential part of medicine. And if anyone tells you that it's not, they're lying to you. You still do your own history and your own physical. And if you do that, you'll be on the way to being a good, competent, empathetic doctor. I hope these 2 lessons, which may seem trivial to you, but are not, take a history from the patient's own mouth and do a physical with your own hands. I hope these two lessons for you will stand you in good stead as you continue your personal journey to become a physician. I welcome you to that long line of women and men in white coats stretching backward and forward in time, who have devoted themselves to the relief of pain, the amelioration of suffering, and to helping people to the extent possible avoid premature death. I wish you Godspeed on this next part of your journey, young doctors of the School of Medicine of New York Medical College.
Hello, I'm Dr. Renee Garrick. I'm the Chief Medical Officer for WMC Health and the Vice Dean for Westchester at New York Medical College. And it's truly an honor to be invited to share a few comments by Zoom with you for our annual white coat ceremony. I was thinking a bit about the class of 2024 and realized that for most of you, you were born right around the turn of the century. I was recalling that in my generation, the turn of the century meant the 1900s. And for you, it's a little different. For the class of 2024, in the last 2 decades, there have been enormous advances in the science of healthcare. We can make kidneys out of nanotechnology and repair the mitral valve and have patients awake and alert in time to have lunch. And soon, if we're lucky, we'll have the first vaccine ever against an RNA virus and be able to end this pandemic that has disrupted so many lives and ended so many so tragically. I was thinking about the science and the technology and the advances that we've made in healthcare, and I was wondering whether or not those advances will forever change the way you practice medicine. Will the patient-physician relationship that's so sacred to us all be disrupted? Will it be different? And are we doing a good job shepherding that relationship and doing everything we can to understand the sacred nature of the relationship between a patient and a physician? You know, we found ways to use artificial intelligence and computers and telehealth to advance science and to advance our communication with patients. And we have these patient portals that are quite impersonal that we use routinely now, along with other telemetry systems to talk to our patients. And I'm wondering whether or not that will be a new way for you to practice. And the thing that is most concerning to us is to be sure that we are doing everything we can to help you come to understand the importance and indeed the significance and sacred nature of the physician-patient relationship. Patients share with us their deepest anxieties and their fears, and they count on us to help them if we can, to heal them. When they do this, they're not our customers, they're not our clients, they're our patients. And I would ask each of you to stop and think before you think of a patient as a customer. A customer is what we are when we're buying a pair of shoes or a car. When we're dealing with a patient, it's something quite different. In fact, that patient-physician relationship is something we each need to treasure. And we need to understand that while becoming a physician and being a physician becomes commonplace for us, it's never, ever commonplace for our patients. And we need to understand, too, that as we advance in our scientific knowledge, the patients and others will defer to us. In fact, they will often trust and believe what we say over their own beliefs. And we need to remember that we could be wrong. And in fact, without question, we sometimes will be wrong. And the practice of medicine needs to leave aside our ego. We cannot think and be concerned about how we might appear. We have to be cautious about that stiff-necked stubbornness and understand that medicine and the patient care takes the work of many, many people. The dietitians, the nurses, the housekeepers, the people who come to do consulting work, the people who help run the hospital as administrators are all critical and necessary in the provision of great patient care. And we need to understand, too, that for us to be good doctors, we need the help of all of those people. This idea of being a physician is really quite a privilege. There is no other career like it. And yes, it's hard. It can be daunting. It can be emotionally extremely stressful. But I would ask each of us and each of you, as you embark on your career as a physician, to stop every once in a while and think about why you did this. So on those not so quiet nights, when you have one more lab to look at or one more call to make before you can go home to your family, stop and think about what made you decide to become a doctor. And think too about the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson, who said to know that one life has breathed easier because you have lived is a life of success. And remember too, that what lies behind you and what lies before you are tiny matters and matter little compared to what lies within you. We're enormously proud of you and wish you all the best and Godspeed as you reach inside yourselves to find the best within you to help those around you. We're enormously proud of the class of 2024, and we look forward to working with you as you embark upon your careers in medicine. Thank you.
Hello and welcome, class of 2024, friends, family, and faculty. My name is Kelsey O'Hagan. I am the current president of the Student Senate. It is an incredible honor to be here with you in celebration of you donning your white coats for the first time. Trying to come up with the right words to say in this moment has been incredibly challenging, as so many things happen in 2020. I'm sure many of you have experienced speaking in front of a crowd for events and presentations, but 2020 has changed even how we do that. Today, I'm speaking to my computer from my room, looking back at myself and trying to find the right words to encompass the genuine honor and joy that I have speaking to all of you without being able to see your faces. It goes without saying that this is not the avenue in which I anticipated celebrating the class of 2024's journey to getting into medical school and their white coat ceremony. 2 years ago, when I started medical school, I would have laughed and called people insane for saying medical school could be almost entirely virtual. Well, the class of 2024 has proven me wrong. Not only can medical school be almost entirely virtual, but they have proven that there are ways to thrive during these uncertain times. Before I address the class of 2024, I'd like to take a brief moment to address the friends and family we have present today. Thank you. Thank you for your dedication and hard work helping these incredible students blossom and thrive so that they could be here today. While their journey to their long white coats has just begun, your support and patience is now needed more than ever. Medical school and medicine is a team sport, and you've made the team. None of us can do it alone, and we as current medical students can't do it without you keeping us grounded and acting as our first patients. To my friends and colleagues in the class of 2024, we celebrate your decision to enter the world of healthcare and your journey to becoming doctors. In these unprecedented times, your dedication and hard work are changing the face of medical education and healthcare every single day. Today, you officially start your journey on becoming a doctor by not just donning your white coat, but by swearing an oath, a solemn vow, a promise for one's future actions and behavior. Here at NYMC, we began a tradition of writing individual class oaths in 2016. My class's oath was the first oath that I ever took, and it felt incredibly powerful. It was the first time I felt the weight of what it means to be a doctor, to be responsible for the health of another. The class of 2022 vowed to a number of things, and I would like to take a moment to reflect on how we described the honor of the white coat. We said, despite the challenges I may face, this white coat will serve as a constant reminder of the great privilege and responsibility with which I have been charged, and the honor I have been given to serve the community and humanity overall. The white coat is a symbol of our profession and our responsibility. By owning a white coat, the responsibilities that the coat brings do not go on and off like our coat does. They stay with us forever. We recognized this in our oath, and we took charge of the fact that our actions, both in and out of the white coat, in and out of the clinic, represent our profession. Now more than ever, our actions are being watched our actions are being watched. and we have to hold that responsibility that much higher. So I commend the class of 2024 entering this profession in such an unprecedented time when our responsibilities are that much higher. I commend you all on your achievements on getting here, and even more so, the dedication and perseverance that you have shown through the adversity of the pandemic to build a class community. I know you have spent many nights getting to know one another via different virtual events. I hope you continue to do this and challenge each other to attend these events. It's important that you get to know all of your classmates during your 4 years here at NYMC. It's important because all of you took unique paths to get here and offer unique skills and insights that we can all learn from. You have accomplished so much already as individuals to get here. To thrive, you're building a strong community that's going to accomplish a lot more together than you will as individuals. So to conclude, I and all the people here want to celebrate you in any which way we can. Today, we celebrate you as you don your white coats for the first time. In a few short minutes, it'll feel different because it is different. You have stepped up to the responsibility of the white coat, your future patients, your peers, and yourself. Congratulations, class of 2024. We can't wait to watch you grow and accomplish all you dream of here at NYMC and beyond. Thank you.
Congratulations, class of 2024. It is an honor to be with you as you begin one of the most exciting and consequential journeys of your life. When you first set your sights on becoming a physician, no one could have imagined that you would be joining the profession during one of the most surreal moments in our lifetimes. COVID-19 has transformed our lives. It has also underscored the important role that medicine and public health play in society, while also making it painfully clear that we have more work to do to create a system that cares well for everyone. COVID-19 has reminded us how much the health of a few affects the health of all. It has reminded us that poverty, racial injustice, and access to clean water and healthy food have profound consequences for our health, often more so than the decisions we make in clinic or the hospital. If we want to be healers in the fullest sense, if we want to not only treat disease and suffering, but also prevent them in the first place, then we must broaden our charge as physicians. We must care not only for the patient in front of us, but we must also seek to understand and address the underlying factors that drive illness in our communities. We must do this through our research, our teaching, our direct service, and our advocacy. There is one more thing this pandemic has reminded us of, a lesson that will be invaluable to you as you navigate the choppy waters ahead. It has reminded us how much we need each other. Our relationships are far more powerful and consequential than we may think. The more we study social connection, the more we realize that when we have people in our lives we trust and love, we are happier. We are also healthier. We perform better at school and at work. And we are better able to dialogue with one another, which has implications for reducing polarization and increasing cooperation. Our relationships, it turns out, are the foundation on which we build everything else. But as essential as our connections with one another are, they are often the first to suffer in our fast-moving world, where the pursuit of work and achievement often displace time with family and friends. I say that as someone who, for many years, allowed training and work to distract me from the people who mattered most, something I have worked hard to correct in recent years. Despite all the uncertainties and ups and downs you will encounter in the years ahead, my hope is that you will always make your relationships your top priority. Our relationships are our anchors. Keep them close. Fight for them. Pick up the phone when a friend calls, even if it's for 30 seconds. Visit your family and close friends, even if it's for a short while. Remember that even when you have only a few minutes to spend with someone, you can make that time count by giving them the gift of your full attention and your full presence. I leave you with one final thought. I want you to know right here and right now that the most important qualities you need to be a healer are the ones you had even before you entered medical school. Your ability to care deeply for others, your ability to listen with compassion, your ability to lead with love. Despite what the world may tell you, you are enough. You don't need to publish papers to be worthy. You don't need to receive awards or ascend to powerful positions in order to be a good doctor. It is in our intrinsic ability to give and receive love that we find our humanity and our true power to heal. I hope you are always surrounded by people who love you. I wish you many moments of laughter and joy in the journey ahead. May you have lives full of inspiration, full of peace, and full of happiness. Congratulations and good luck.
We've spent a lot of time and effort in the past 2 months to try to give the students and all of you watching today a special event for the white coat ceremony. And although usually we would be all together in a huge auditorium with thousands of guests today, we just couldn't anticipate when that might be possible again. I would like to thank Jonathan Pesolano, our Director of Student Affairs, for his extraordinary effort in organizing, editing, and pulling this event together, as well as all the members of our team in the Office of Student Affairs, all the House Advisory Deans, and Dean Nadler, Dean Sozo, Faye Seltzer, and the good folks from IT for their great assistance with this event. So how did we create this event for today? We took every precaution to ensure the safety of our students, deans, and faculty by dividing the class into small groups by advisory dean house and by holding 10 white coat ceremonies throughout these past 2 months. You will see today, as we welcome the class of 2024 on their journey to becoming a physician, that we were in person, practicing physical distancing, wearing masks. What we share now is the final edit of all those 10 live ceremonies, edited together to allow all of you to experience virtually what we were able to offer in person, as well as some pre-recorded messages and well wishes from the School of Medicine leadership, faculty, and staff. I'd like to tell you a bit about the history of the white coat ceremony. It is relatively new. This ceremony did not exist when I went to medical school. It began in 1993 at Columbia University College of Physicians and Surgeons with Dr. Arnold P. Gold. There are 3 pins the students were given to wear on their lapels. One is from the Arnold P. Gold Foundation. Now, as you know, the Hippocratic Oath is often recited upon graduation at the end of medical school. Dr. Gold thought that was just too long to wait and initiated the white coat ceremony to emphasize both professionalism and humanism in medicine at the beginning of medical school. This tradition spread to other medical schools, and New York Medical College School of Medicine brought this ceremony here in the year 2000, and we've had it ever since. One of the other 2 pins on the students' white coats are from the House Dean Reps. The 3rd pin is from the School of Medicine. Wear them all proudly. For the students, I remind you today, as I did on your Advisory House event day, to be grateful for the support you have gotten from your family, loved ones, and friends thus far, and that will undoubtedly continue far into the future. This is an incredibly important part of your journey. I encouraged you to call them that day, and I'll ask you to again thank them today. Viewing this ceremony should remind you each time you don your white coat why you chose to be a physician, what is expected of you, and what you should expect of yourself now and in the future. The white coat sets upon your shoulders standards for you to follow on your journey to becoming a physician. It should never be seen as a weight, but rather as a privilege to uphold. The white coat is a symbol of your welcome to the profession and your humanism. It is a symbol of the commitment to the ideals of compassionate care you have collectively written about in your oath, and that your family and friends will witness when we hear you recite it later in the ceremony. It is our sincere hope and expectation that from this day forward, each and every time you don your white coat, you will stay loyal to the pledge you take today. We present to you now the New York Medical College Class of 2024 White Coat Ceremony.
I'm Dr. Susan Rachlin, Associate Dean of Student Affairs. Welcome to all the friends and families of our first-year medical students. To our students, today you have donned your white coats, a time-honored tradition in medical schools across the country, to symbolize your entry into medicine, to symbolize the core of professionalism as a student doctor. The wearing of the white coat is a constant reminder of the oath you have created and will take today, and the Hippocratic Oath you will recite at your graduation. However, the white coat is something that must live inside you every day. It can't be a symbol you wear. It must be a symbol you own and live. It must shine inside you as a beacon of the core of what this profession stands for: compassion, empathy, respect for all, and professionalism. No matter what grades you get, if you succeed at representing these core values, representing what this white coat stands for, then you will always be a success, and you will become the epitome and definition of a great doctor. I ask you all today, not only to pledge your oath, but to take the white coat challenge and strive to be all it represents, not just today, but every day of your education and your future careers. I am humbled and grateful every day to be a part of this profession. And today, the day of your white coat ceremony, would like to welcome you as an honored member of this profession. And I urge you all, take the white coat challenge. Be the best you can be. Thank you and congratulations to each and every one of you.
We wish you all the best on behalf of the Histology Faculty as you continue your journey throughout your academic career. And please wear your white coats with pride.
Congratulations. What a momentous day this is. You should all be so proud of yourselves, especially in light of our current circumstances. To not only put in the hard work and effort to arrive at this point in your career, but to choose to do so in a time when the world needs you most is truly admirable. I know this is not how you may have envisioned your medical school experience beginning, but you have already proved your determination, resilience, adaptability, and patience, all qualities that are key to a successful career in medicine and a rewarding life. I am so pleased to officially welcome you all to the medical profession as my colleagues. Having already seen your passion and spirit of perseverance, I am confident that you will be a valuable addition to the medical community, and I am excited to see where you go. Congratulations, doctors.
Hi, I'm Catherine Umola, the Senior Director of Competency-Based Assessment and Clinical Skills Education. What a momentous day for all of you. On behalf of the entire staff at the Clinical Skills and Simulation Center, we congratulate you on receiving your white coat and can't wait to welcome you back in person at the Skills Center.
The adventure of your professional career starts, and as the expression goes, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with just one step. The untold part of that is that we all take that step together. Congratulations and good luck. Remember, we'll always be here for you. Don't feel lost in the hallways.
My name is Dr. Jennifer Kessler, and I am the Senior Associate Dean for Medical Education and the Chapter Advisor for the Gold Humanism Honor Society. I would like to extend warm wishes to all of our amazing first-year medical students, family members, faculty, staff, and administration that have joined us for this socially distanced ceremony. This white coat ceremony marks the milestone of your transition from layperson to medical professional. Today's ceremony makes a powerful statement about the high value our institution places on professionalism. Your commitment to the compassionate practice of medicine is more important now than ever. You are entering medicine during a global pandemic and at a time where our country faces historic divide. Your white coat should be a reminder of the great privilege you have been afforded and the responsibility you are charged to uphold in all facets of your life from here forward. Although your pledge is virtual, it is no less meaningful. Your class oath speaks about your commitment to medicine, to your patients, and to yourselves. Especially during this unprecedented time, I challenge you to consider your role as a professional and begin to develop new habits of humanism. A habit of humanism is a skill of thinking and acting so that you are able to recognize the concerns of your patients and practice medicine with empathy at all times. While your empathy may be challenged, it is your duty to advocate for your patients and exercise compassion. We believe in you, and we will support you every step of the way. Wishing you all tremendous success today and every day. Thank you.
I am Dr. Mil Etienne, Associate Dean for Student Affairs here at New York Medical College. Before we proceed to reciting the medical student oath, I'd like to give you some background information regarding how this year's oath was constructed. First, you should know that for the past 20 or so years, many medical schools around the country have allowed their medical students to write their own oath for the white coat ceremony. Here at New York Medical College, each year, the first-year medical students are given the task of creating their own oath. Dr. Ira Betzo and myself work with the students to help guide them through the process. We have given the class of 2024 the option to use last year's oath. However, they made it clear that they prefer to create their own oath because it would be more meaningful to them and would also make it easier for them to hold each other accountable to living up to the oath as they go through their 4 years here at New York Medical College. As we met to create the oath, there were many considerations. The students acknowledged that they would be taking their oath as we continue to go through the COVID-19 pandemic. And as a reinvigorated national civil rights movement had knocked down the walls of the ivory towers after the tragic killings of Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, and so many others. Indeed, this oath is being taken in very different times. We had 24 students serve on the committee. However, everyone in the class of 2024 had an opportunity to comment and give feedback before we finalize the oath that you are about to hear. We will now proceed to the oath. Class of 2024, please stand and repeat after me. As a member of the New York Medical College, class of 2024, beginning this journey during these unforeseen circumstances,
I stand here today before my loved ones and fellow members of the medical community to accept my white coat and responsibilities with which it comes. I take this oath with the goal of becoming the best physician I can be. I pledge to remain humble, open-minded, and to honor the legacy of the physicians who have come before me by paying it forward in the same scholarly tradition. I recognize my duty to adapt to the dynamic landscape of medicine and to the tremendous growth in biotechnology. I pledge to help each individual entrusted to my care to the best of my ability, in line with the founding principles of New York Medical College. I recognize that my treatment of patients should not only reflect scientific knowledge, but also the art of empathetic care. I pledge to be an effector of positive change in society and an advocate for the collective health of humankind. I recognize that my newly afforded position bestows upon me unique responsibilities, which I will use to make our field of medicine a safe space by promoting equity, inclusion, and belonging. I pledge to care for myself and my peers so that together we can provide the best service to our patients and community. I recognize that medical school is a challenging and arduous endeavor, and I must ensure my well-being in order to provide consistent care as a physician in training. I recognize that our collective success means the best outcome for all, and I will utilize interprofessional collaboration to enhance the patient experience. With humility, honor, and gratitude, we, the students of New York Medical College, class of 2024, accept these white coats as we embark on our journey to become both skilled physicians and genuine healers.
Congratulate you as your dean, and also mention how the honor that you have by putting on the white coat and the responsibility. The day you entered medical school is a major event. The white coat ceremony, even though it's a ceremony, it's very symbolic of the responsibility and the opportunity that you uniquely have as physicians, future physicians, for the world, for helping humanity, and especially now, given the pandemic. No other class in the history of medical school in the United States has had to go through what you're going through. It's a difficult time. You're weathering it very well, and just think how important it's going to be as physicians to care for the population when, especially now, that we see the wounds of health disparities, the difficulties that many populations have in dealing with pandemics, dealing with other diseases such as disease like I'm familiar with diabetes and how people with diabetes get affected by pandemics. Whether you go into research and come up with the next potentially vaccine or new therapy, whether you go into academic medicine, private practice, community medicine, group practice, you can make tremendous contributions. So just take pride in the positive way and humility in the opportunities that you have and the responsibilities that you have to help your common person here help in relieving suffering and disease. You all have reached this time not alone. You're continuing to have support by family, friends. Reach out to them. This is a very stressful time. This is a positive experience. I wish your families, your friends could all be here with you. We can't do this. We're trying to do the white coat ceremonies in groups like this so we can give you a personal experience so you can enjoy it. But reach out to your family, reach out to your friends, significant others. They'll want to hear from you and share the moment with you as safely as possible, especially as we embark upon Thanksgiving and the holiday times, which often is a family time, and we have to do things differently now than we've ever done before. So I just wanted to say that I wish the best for you. It's so endearing for us to have our students here and share this moment with you. This is the first of many moments that you'll have that's really, hopefully, getting past block one, now block two, and going through further is positive experiences. And then we wish you all the best in the world. So remember this. Take it to heart what this means. And as far as a meaningful statement that I like to share with all the student groups is something that you provided a wonderful oath. One of the nice traditions here at New York Medical College is writing your own oath, but there's an ancient oath that's often re-quoted. And this came from Maimonides, from the original oath, and it's still true today as it ever was, that remember, you're treating the person, not the disease, and treat the person that has the disease, because everybody's an individual. So the person is what you treat, not the disease. And that was said well before we even knew what we know now, but we know, just example of the pandemic, some people are totally asymptomatic, and some people unfortunately end up in the ICUs and don't make it. So everyone is an individual. There are many things to be discovered. I'm thrilled about how much research our students are doing, how much discoveries there are to make, and just again back to where we are today with COVID, there's so many things we didn't know, so many things we're learning about the body and how the body responds. And so just realize that the things you're learning today, keep thinking, keep questioning, keep looking to learn. You'll always find wonderful things to do as a physician. And remember how much responsibility you have uniquely. Nobody else has that responsibility as physicians to care for someone else, to relieve suffering, and hopefully in the future cure some diseases.